The hotel corridor was unnaturally still. Chief Maxwell paused, breathing heavily beneath his disguise. A fake beard, worn jacket, and black cap obscured much of his face. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. He lifted his hand and rapped lightly on the hotel door. Knock, knock, knock. For a moment, there was silence. Then a soft laugh reached him, a woman's voice. Sandra. Chief Maxwell felt his legs tremble. The hotel corridor was unnaturally still. Chief Maxwell paused, breathing heavily beneath his disguise. A fake beard, worn jacket, and black cap obscured much of his face. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. He lifted his hand and rapped lightly on the hotel door. Knock, knock, knock. For a moment, there was silence. Then a soft laugh reached him, a woman's voice. Sandra. Chief Maxwell felt his legs tremble. The man on the bed leapt up, frantically trying to cover himself. The room reeked of betrayal. The air was thick, stifling, charged with deceit. For a moment, Chief Maxwell was frozen, unable to move, to breathe, or to think. How had he ended up here? How could the woman he had given everything to betray him like this? How long had this been happening behind his back? His hands trembled, his chest burned, and yet no sound came from him. In that moment, something inside Chief Maxwell shattered. The story didn't start in a hotel. It began in his mansion, a mansion he had built through sweat, patience, and sacrifices that nearly broke him. Chief Maxwell was not born into wealth. His parents were simple farmers in Delta State. As a child, he vowed that poverty would never touch his own children. That promise drove him to work harder than anyone around him. He began with a small oil supply business, expanded to a larger one, then started a company, and then another, until he became one of the youngest billionaires in Lagos. But success came at a cost. While other men married young, he remained alone, focused on building his wealth. By the time he finally sought a companion, he was 45. That's when he met Sandra. She was striking, tall, fair-skinned, soft-spoken, with a taste for luxury. She called him my love, while everyone else addressed him as Chief. He believed she truly cared for him. He believed in her affection. But he was mistaken. For months, the atmosphere in the house felt off. Sandra would roll her eyes whenever he spoke and scold the housemaids harshly. She stayed out late into the night, always returning with excuses that never sounded convincing. The worst part, she didn't show him any respect. Even the driver noticed. Sir, madam, they speak to you disrespectfully these days, he whispered once. But Chief Maxwell dismissed it. He wanted the marriage to last. He despised shame. He feared divorce. He didn't want anyone mocking him. One night, he entered the living room and found Sandra grinning at her phone, smiling in a way she had never smiled at him. Who are you chatting with? He asked quietly. Sandra quickly hid her phone. It's nobody, she replied, rolling her eyes. Let me see, Chief Maxwell said, stepping closer. Are you crazy? She snapped. He froze, stunned. No one had ever spoken to him that way, not even his staff. Sandra stormed upstairs, slamming the door behind her. In that moment, Chief Maxwell felt a sharp ache in his chest. Something was wrong. Later, when he confronted her, tears streamed down her face as she lied. I am faithful. I swear. You're the only man in my life. He believed her because he wanted to. But that night, sleep refused to come. Sandra lay beside him, yet her phone kept buzzing beneath her pillow. She kept turning her face away, smiling in the darkness at someone else. That was when Chief Maxwell made a decision. He would follow her. He would disguise himself. He would see the truth for himself. Sandra told him she was going to visit a friend. But Chief Maxwell sensed her deceit. Her outfit was too elegant, her perfume too strong, her excitement far too obvious. She left the gate at exactly 7:49 p.m. Chief waited 2 minutes, then followed silently in another car, wearing the disguise he had prepared earlier. He trailed her to a hotel in Lekki. He saw her laughing with a man at the entrance, holding his hand, and then stepping into a room with him. His hands grew icy, his legs weakened, but he continued to follow. He moved down the hallway, his heart pounding like a drum, and stopped in front of the room where his wife was betraying him. A man like him, a man who had built an empire from nothing, who had given her wealth, comfort, and respect, and this was her repayment. Chief swallowed hard and knocked. When he opened the door, his world crumbled. Sandra screamed his name. The man on the bed leapt up. Chief Maxwell's disguise slipped halfway, exposing his face, and Sandra whispered a single word that pierced his heart. Please, I can explain. Chief Maxwell looked at her, his voice shaking. Explain what? Before she could answer, the doors suddenly swung wider, and someone unexpected stepped into the room. Someone Chief Maxwell never thought would be involved. Chief Maxwell did not blink. He did not breathe. He just stood there staring at the person who walked into the room. Someone he never expected to see in such a shameful place. It was his wife's elder sister, Anita. Yes, Sandra's own sister. She froze when she saw Chief Maxwell standing there. Jesus, Chief, she gasped, holding a small purse to her chest. Sandra's eyes widened even more. The boyfriend on the bed looked confused, switching his eyes between all three of them. Chief Maxwell felt the room spin. Anita, you too, he whispered, voice thin like a breaking thread. Anita stepped back slowly, shaking her head. No, Maxwell. It's not what you think. I just came to do what? Chief snapped, his voice deeper now. Cover her, protect her, or share the same secret. Sandra jumped from the bed, grabbing a wrapper to cover herself. Maxwell, listen. Don't touch me. Chief shouted so loudly that the light bulb on the ceiling trembled. The pain in his chest was unbearable. It felt like someone dug a hand into his heart and squeezed it. He looked at Anita again. You knew? He asked, voice cracking. You knew she was doing this? Anita swallowed hard. I didn't want to say anything. I thought she would change. I begged her many times. Sandra spun toward her sister angrily. Why are you talking? Anita, shut up. Shut up. But Anita's mouth was shaking. Her eyes were tearing. Chief, I'm sorry. I truly am. I tried to warn her. She never listened. Sandra covered her ears. Anita, I will slap you. Don't spoil my marriage. Chief laughed. A bitter, painful laugh that didn't sound like him. Marriage? He repeated. You spoil your marriage yourself. Sandra froze. The man she betrayed was no longer begging for respect. He was no longer confused. He was broken and angry. Sandra's behavior did not start suddenly. The signs had been there, but Chief Maxwell kept ignoring them because he wanted peace. He wanted a home. He wanted love. There were days Sandra would insult the house staff and then smile sweetly at him as if nothing happened. There were days she would refuse to cook, shouting that she was not a village wife. There were nights she would sleep facing her phone and not him. And every time he tried to talk, she found a way to make him feel guilty. Why are you stressing me? Why are you acting insecure? Am I not your wife? She made him feel like a bad husband for trying to fix the marriage. But now in the hotel room, the truth stood naked in front of him. There was no lie she could hide behind. Sandra's boyfriend, a slim, light-skinned young man wearing gold chain, slowly stepped forward. Sir, please calm down, he said. This is just Chief Maxwell turned slowly, his eyes sharp. One more word, Chief said calmly, and I will show you the difference between a boy and a man. The young man's lips sealed instantly. He was trembling. Sandra rushed forward. Chief, please. It's not his fault. It's mine. I was lonely. I lonely, Chief asked quietly. You were lonely in a mansion. You were lonely with a husband that gave you everything. Or you were greedy. Sandra fell on her knees, tears flowing. Maxwell, forgive me. I promise. He raised his hand. Not to hit her, to silence her. Stop, he said. His voice was tired. His face looked older than his age. He stared at the hotel bed again. The pillow, the blanket, the man, the lie. Everything looked like a movie he wished he never watched. He turned to Anita. Take photographs, he said suddenly. Anita gasped. Sandra shouted. The boyfriend panicked. No, Maxwell, please. Sandra screamed. Don't do that. Chief Maxwell's eyes were cold and calm. If you want to see madness, he whispered. Lie to me again. Anita slowly lifted her phone with shaking hands. Sandra grabbed her sister's legs. Anita, please don't do this. I will die. Please stop. But Anita looked at Chief. Sir, are you sure? Yes, he said. She has deceived me enough. I need proof. Sandra cried loudly, louder than she had ever cried before. Maxwell, I swear I can explain, she screamed. Explain in court, Chief replied, and explain to the world how a billionaire's wife ended up in a hotel with a boy. Sandra collapsed on the floor, wailing like a child. But just as Anita raised the phone, the door suddenly burst open again. A security guard rushed into the room, sweating and looking frightened. Sir, Chief Maxwell, he shouted when he recognized him. Please, you need to leave now. Chief turned slowly. Why? The guard swallowed hard, trembling. Sir, you won't believe this, but the media. They are outside the hotel, Sandra screamed. The boyfriend held his head. Anita froze. Chief Maxwell's heart stopped. They somehow found out you are inside this hotel, the guard continued. Journalists, bloggers, camera crews, all waiting outside the gate. And then the guard whispered something that shocked the entire room. Sir, someone sent them a message that you came to catch your wife cheating. Chief Maxwell felt his heart jump in his chest. Who sent them? How did they know? Why now? Sandra turned pale. Anita covered her mouth. Chief Maxwell's eyes narrowed. Someone wanted to disgrace him publicly. But who and why? Before he could even ask another question, another message popped up on the guard's walkie-talkie. Breaking news cameras have arrived. Chief Maxwell took a slow breath and whispered, No, it can't be. For the first time since he entered the hotel room, Chief Maxwell felt something stronger than pain. Fear. Not fear of his wife's betrayal, but fear of the public shame waiting outside. Journalists, bloggers, camera lights, microphones, gossip pages, enemies, all waiting for him to step out, waiting to film the story of a billionaire who caught his wife cheating in a hotel. Chief Maxwell swallowed slowly. This was not just a marriage problem anymore. This was a trap, a well-planned one. Anita's phone buzzed again. She looked at the screen, and her eyes widened in panic. Chief, oh my God, she whispered. Something is wrong. What now? Chief asked, voice deep. Anita turned the phone so he could see. There on her screen was a message from an unknown number. Breaking news. Billionaire Chief Maxwell enters hotel to bust his wife and her secret lover. Full story coming soon. Sandra let out a scream and grabbed her head. Jesus, I'm finished. My life is over. The young boyfriend ran to the corner of the room like a scared goat. Chief Maxwell felt his heart twist. This was not normal. This was not accidental. This was deliberate. Someone sent the press. Someone wanted this shame. Someone wanted him to be destroyed. Who sent the message? Chief demanded. Anita shook her head quickly. I don't know. It's a strange number. Sandra jumped and crawled to Chief's legs. Maxwell, please, I beg you. Don't let people see me like this. I'm sorry. I will change. Chief removed her hands calmly. You should have thought of that before entering this room. Sandra cried harder, her tears falling on the carpet. Chief Maxwell had built his company with a tough mind. People knew him as a calm man, a quiet man, a man who never fought, a man who always walked away from trouble. But they also knew something else. When Chief Maxwell is pushed too far, he becomes dangerous. He never shouts, never threatens, he just acts. And when he acts, people regret pushing him. Right now, he was not shouting. He was not shaking. He was thinking. Chief turned slowly to her. Tell me the truth, he said. Is someone behind all this? Sandra blinked fast. What do you mean? She asked, voice shaking. Don't act stupid, Chief said calmly. You don't own a media house. You don't know journalists. You don't control bloggers. So tell me. He leaned down slowly. Who wants to destroy me? Sandra's mouth trembled. She looked at the boyfriend, then at Anita, then back at Chief. I don't know, she whispered, but her eyes were lying. Chief could see it clearly. Anita stepped forward. Chief, she knows. Sandra shook her head wildly. No, I swear I don't. Anita pointed at her sister. Tell him the truth, Sandra. Tell him what you told me last month. Sandra froze. The boyfriend froze. Chief did not blink. What truth? He asked. Anita looked at Chief with sad eyes. Sir, there is someone she has been talking to. Someone who always tells her what to do. Someone who gives her advice about you. Someone who has been pushing her to end your marriage. Sandra screamed, Anita, shut up. But Chief held Sandra's wrist tightly. Who is it? His voice was calm. Too calm. Sandra's eyes filled with tears. I can't say please. He will kill me if I talk. Chief's grip loosened. He repeated slowly. The boyfriend swallowed loudly. Sandra covered her mouth. Anita looked away. The guard stepped back nervously. Chief Maxwell's face became stone cold. A man behind everything. A man advising his wife. A man sending the press. A man planning his fall. A man inside his life secretly. Who is he? Chief repeated again. Sandra was shaking so badly, she couldn't even look up. Maxwell, please, if I talk, all of us are finished. Chief leaned closer. If you don't talk, you are finished. Sandra burst into tears. Okay, fine. I will say it. Everyone watched her. Anita, the boyfriend, the guard, even the walls felt silent. Sandra's voice cracked. It's but before she could say the name, the guard's walkie-talkie buzzed again. Emergency. Emergency. The press are forcing the hotel gate. They are coming inside. Chief froze. Sandra screamed. The boyfriend covered his head. Anita's legs shook. And the guard shouted, "Sir, we need to escape now. The journalists are almost at the elevator." Chief turned to the door immediately, and when he opened it, he came face to face with a camera crew running toward him. Lights, microphones, recorders. Someone shouted, "Chief Maxwell, is it true your wife cheated?" "Sir, look here. Look here." Chief Maxwell's heart jumped into his throat. Sandra fainted on the floor, and the hotel hallway exploded into chaos. The hallway exploded like a war zone. Cameras flashed everywhere. Journalists shouted his name. Phones were recording from every angle. Microphones pushed toward his face. Chief Maxwell froze in the middle of the chaos. He felt like the whole world suddenly turned to look at him, not as a billionaire, not as a respected man, but as a heartbroken husband whose wife was caught cheating in a cheap hotel room. His heart squeezed painfully. This was the one thing he feared more than anything. Shame. He hated embarrassment. He hated scandal. He hated people laughing at him. Now it was happening. Live. Chief Maxwell. "Sir, is it true your wife has a boyfriend? Sir, look at us. How long has she been cheating? Why did you come here in disguise? Sir, look here, sir." Chief's eyes burned. For the first time in many years, he felt weak. Behind him, Sandra suddenly woke up from her faint. She saw the reporters. She saw the camera lights. She saw her disgrace spreading like fire. She jumped up and ran forward, screaming, "Please stop recording. Don't film me. I beg you in God's name." Clear's throat, but the journalists chased her, too. Phones pointed at her face. Cameras zoomed in. Microphones touched her clothes. Sandra grabbed her hair and screamed louder. "I am a married woman. Please stop. Please." Anita tried to pull her back, but the crowd pushed harder. The boyfriend was hiding behind the door like a scared rat, afraid to show his face. The scene was exploding, growing, spreading like smoke in a burning house. Chief pushed through the reporters and forced his way back into the hotel room. The guard closed the door and locked it quickly. Chief leaned against the wall, breathing heavily. Sandra grabbed his legs. "Maxwell, please forgive me. If my father sees this, I will die. If my church sees this, I will faint. If my friends see this, I will disappear." Chief looked down at her. A woman he once loved, now shaking on the floor like a child. "You still haven't told me who planned this," Chief said quietly. Sandra wiped her face, trembling. "I can't say his name. Please understand. He will destroy me." Anita stepped closer. "Chief, she has to talk. If she keeps hiding him, things will get worse." Sandra shook her head. No. He has power. You don't know him." Chief grabbed her chin and lifted her face gently. "Look at me." She looked up slowly. Her eyes were red. Her makeup was ruined. Her lips trembled. "You are already destroyed," Chief said quietly. "The only thing left is the truth." Sandra burst into fresh tears. "Maxwell, please. Who is he?" Sandra squeezed her hands tightly. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "He is someone close to you. Too close. Someone inside your life. Inside your business. Inside everything." Chief froze. His heartbeat slowed. Slowly he asked, "Is it someone from my office?" Sandra closed her eyes. "Yes." Chief's breath became cold. "Someone from my company?" She nodded slowly. "Yes." The room went quiet. Dead quiet. Anita gasped softly. The young boyfriend's eyes widened. Even the guard stopped breathing. Chief's chest tightened painfully. "Who?" he asked again. Sandra started crying. "I can't say." Chief slammed his fist on the wall. "Who?" Sandra jumped and screamed. "Your deputy." She covered her mouth after shouting it. The room froze. Nobody moved. Chief blinked. "My what?" Sandra shook as she whispered. "Your deputy managing director. Mr. Collins." Anita gasped loudly. "Oh God." Chief's legs almost gave out. His deputy. The man he trusted with his company. The man he trained. The man he treated like a younger brother. The man he promoted. The man who knew every secret. The man with access to all private files. Sandra kept talking through tears. "He is the one who has been advising me. He said you were old. He said you were stingy. He said you were hiding your true money from me. He said you didn't love me enough. He told me to stand my ground. to control you, to punish you if you refused. Chief stared at her like he was staring at a ghost. Why? He whispered. Sandra cried more. He said he wanted your downfall. Chief felt something burn inside his chest. Mr. Collins, a man he trusted, a man he lifted, a man who smiled in his face every morning, a man he paid millions, a man he treated like family. That man secretly wanted him destroyed. Sandra continued shaking. He told me to go out tonight. He told me to leave the house by 7 p.m. He said he would handle the rest. He sent the press. He planned everything. Chief's hand tightened. His jaw clenched. Fire lit in his eyes. Mr. Collins, he whispered. So you want war? Before anyone could speak again. Boom. Someone kicked the door from outside. Sandra screamed and hid behind the bed. Anita jumped. The guard blocked Chief with his body. Reporters shouted from the hallway. Open the door. Chief Maxwell, we know you're inside. Come out now. Cameras flashed under the door crack. Chaos was seconds away from breaking inside the room. The guard looked at Chief, sweating. Sir, if they break this door, the whole world will see everything. Another loud bang. Boom. The door shook violently. Chief's voice became calm. Too calm. Let them break it. Sir, the guard shouted. Sandra screamed. Anita shouted. The boyfriend fainted against the wall, but Chief Maxwell just stood there with a cold, dangerous look in his eyes because right behind him on the table, his phone began to ring. And when he glanced down at the screen, his blood turned to ice. The caller ID read, Mr. Collins, the man behind everything, calling him right now. The room was shaking. Reporters were kicking the door. Sandra sobbed in the corner. Anita clutched her head in confusion. The boyfriend was drenched in sweat. The guard froze, fear written across his face. But Chief Maxwell remained unmoved. He did not panic. He simply stared at his ringing phone, his eyes cold and burning. Mr. Collins, the betrayer, the schemer, the man who tried to ruin his home and reputation. Chief inhaled slowly and picked up the call, placing it on speaker. Maxwell, Mr. Collins said, a soft laugh in his voice. How's the hotel? I hear the news is spreading fast. The room went completely silent. Sandra pressed her hands over her mouth. Anita shook her head in disbelief. The guard's heart seemed to stop for a moment. Chief Maxwell said nothing. He just listened. You see, Mr. Collins continued, I guided Sandra. I showed her exactly how to handle you. A billionaire like you shouldn't be so emotional. Now the entire world is watching your collapse. Sandra sank to the floor, humiliated. Anita's fists tightened. Chief remained silent. Mr. Collins laughed again. You know what I truly want. Collins continued. Your company. You're getting old, Maxwell, and I deserve what you built. The room fell into heavy silence as the pounding outside grew louder. Boom, boom, boom. Open the door now. Chief Maxwell finally spoke. Collins, he said quietly. Are you finished? Collins chuckled. Yes. And don't bother coming to the office tomorrow. By morning, all your secrets will be online. Chief smiled, a slow, dangerous smile. Thank you, he said calmly, for admitting everything on speaker in front of witnesses. Silence hung in the room. Then Chief spoke again, his voice strong and unwavering. I recorded everything. A collective gasp filled the space. Sandra's eyes widened. Anita pressed her hands to her mouth. The guard nodded with pride. Chief continued. And right now, Collins, my security team is on their way to your house with the police. You will answer for everything you just admitted. Collins shouted into the phone. Maxwell, wait. Don't do this. I was only joking. But Chief ended the call. He slipped the phone into his pocket and stood tall. For the first time since arriving at the hotel, he felt a sense of calm. The truth was finally revealed. The liar had been exposed. The traitor caught. The door rattled violently. Boom. Before the reporters could force their way in, Chief raised his hand. Guard, he said softly. There's another way out, isn't there? Yes, sir, the guard whispered. The emergency exit. Good. Chief turned to Sandra. You wanted trouble, he said quietly. Now face the consequences. Sandra crawled toward him, clutching his clothes. Maxwell, please, don't leave me here. Don't let them see me like this, Sandra pleaded. But Chief stepped back. He looked at her, the woman who had betrayed him, disrespected him, lied to him, and nearly ruined his life. Then he spoke the words she had dreaded most. From today, you are no longer my wife. Sandra screamed and collapsed to the floor. Anita wept silently, saying nothing, knowing Sandra had brought this on herself. Chief turned to the guard. Let's go. Together, they slipped out through the emergency exit, down the stairs, and into a black SUV waiting just outside the hotel. By the time the reporters rushed in, Chief Maxwell was already gone. The next morning, Lagos was abuzz. Every blog carried the story, but this time, the narrative had shifted. It wasn't billionaire disgraced. Instead, deputy managing director arrested for attempting to blackmail his boss, Sandra's infidelity revealed, and Chief Maxwell praised for his composed handling of the situation. Sandra wept for days, pleading for forgiveness, begging for mercy. But Chief had made his decision. He filed for divorce immediately. She walked away with nothing. No car, no house, no jewelry, no shares, nothing. Only her clothes and her shame remained. Months went by. Chief devoted himself to his work. His company expanded once more, and his peace of mind returned. Then one day, he met a quiet, kind-hearted woman named Felicia. She was uninterested in his wealth or status. What mattered to her was his heart. Their love grew slowly, gently, naturally, and before long, they were married. Their home was calm. Their laughter was genuine. Their children were joyful and beautiful. One evening, as Felicia handed their baby to him, she smiled gently. "Maxwell, you deserve true love," she said. Chief kissed his child and murmured, "And now, I finally have it."